Why, hello everyone. It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with Omi is My Homie, episode 80. And we're going to be talking about VeVe on the collect chain, the Omi token, obviously, what VeVe's going to. And here are my co-hosts, Crypto Rain and Dr. Stuff. Everyone, how y'all doing?
Good, man.
Amazing.
Doing fantastic.
Heck yeah. I thoroughly enjoying these last couple of weeks. We had a bunch of news to go over. News being we might have bottomed in the macro. People talking about us on big accounts on the new affiliate program, us being going on Kraken within the next couple of weeks. Obviously, the VeVe going on collect chain, and I'll send you guys some photos of some of the notes I have from the AMA yesterday. In the last couple of weeks, because it's been a little while since we're all together, what's been your favorite parts? Been your favorite developments?
I think the collect chain was it's a big deal. And I'm a huge fan of Dr. Profit. He's really, really good. And so, it's cool what he's doing that's augmenting the capabilities of VeVe a lot. And this collect chain idea that he's really pushed, people that complain that it's not true NFTs, well, that will silence them eventually. But secondly, part of the reason VeVe's been so successful is that it's not true NFTs, because all they have to do is create a login and everything to VeVe, and they can buy almost right away. So the simplicity of that has been key. So I think they focused on the most important thing first. But then for those that are like NFT snobs that they do want to have it exported to their own MetaMask wallet, that will eventually be there. But what I'm excited about with the collect chain too is it would be easier to integrate other things as well that Dr. Profit alluded to. So really excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, collect chain is massive, right? Like Kraken is massive too, though, right? Like having a centralized exchange, the liquidity that will provide is going to be fantastic. I was talking to Crypto Cosmo, and he was buying Omi, and he's like, I had to just buy it in these small chunks, because if I put in too big of an order, like it pushed the price up too much. So having that's a big deal. But I mean, like Rain already said it, right? I mean, collect chain, like that's massive. And Dr. Profit, what a rock star, man. And then can I just say, it's so funny, dude. Like these fudders, like they just like they're like, oh yeah, well, like he's just trying to save his bags, and so like that's why he's doing. I was like, okay, or maybe he believes in it so much that he's willing to invest his time and money, right? Because see, smart people, there's a thing called a sunk cost, and you don't throw good money after bad. And I'm pretty dang sure that if Dr. Profit thought that VeVe was just dead, he would not be throwing good money after bad, right? But he's throwing like this time, and this is more than just VeVe, right? Like you talked about that there's going to be other, you can get other collections on there. There's other things, and it's collect chain for a reason, right? Like you'll be able to collect VeVe stuff, but I think you'll be able to collect more stuff, right? And so it's huge news. It's really exciting, and I love that Dr. Profit is tied to that, and it just shows how he's doubling down on how he thinks this is the future, and I love it.
I do want to go and take a look at not the sunk cost fallacy that you were talking about, but I think it's okay if you say like, hey, I have my investment in VeVe and Omi, and they're going to go my expectations from here to here. But if you're Dr. Profit and you think that, yeah, they're going to go from here to here, I'll make my money back plus a huge multiple. If you were him, why not say like, hey, I know it'll go from here to here, but if I do X, Y, and Z, I could make it go to here. And I feel like it's not the sunk cost fallacy. We're putting good money over bad, but you're taking more money and you're improving the thing that you're invested fairly heavily in. Again, for him, it's not that much, but for the rest of us, it's like, okay, yeah, that's a lot. And instead of doing, let's say, a certain multiple, let's say our estimates of Omi were to go to 1.5 cents, and then he's like, well, if I do this and we can execute it properly and we can do it in a timely manner, maybe instead of going to 1.5 cents and go to 4.5 cents. And I think that might be what he's doing. Not necessarily saving VeVe, because again, they're doing incredible. But I think just taking it to a place where it might not have gone otherwise. That's just kind of my opinion for that. But also, I mean, to help VeVe with something, if they're going to take over the world and then suddenly he could be part of that, that opens a lot of opportunities for him. And again, he's already very, very busy, but I think that's one of the things that he probably sees. He probably sees where there's problems, there's opportunities. When there's opportunities, you can get ROI.
Well, let's talk about it too. Like, why did he get in VeVe in the first place? Because there's an inner nerd part in all of us that like this stuff is cool. So that's what brought him to VeVe in the first place. And so then he gets to participate in helping make it even better. Because I think digital collectibles are going to be one of the biggest narratives that come out of blockchain. And I think a lot of collectibles will go digital because instantaneous marketplace where you can sell it to anyone in the world 2 seconds after you list it with minimal transaction fees. And you don't have to worry about shipping. You don't have to worry about getting a fake. There's so many cool things about it, especially as augmented reality becomes a bigger deal. And right now it's really a small deal, but in the future, it'll probably be a much bigger deal. And the ability to showcase your digital collectibles will be a big deal. So you can socially flex them down the road. You'll be able to in much simpler ways. And so digital collectibles will become a huge thing. And then he's taking the #1 company and helping augment their capabilities. I think it'll be very financially rewarding as well as fun. Like, he's already rich from his other businesses. He doesn't need to do this to make money, but I think he's having fun doing this, solving problems.
Yeah, that's another thing that I just like laugh at. You know, people are like, oh, he's trying to save his bags. I'm like, he just write it off and move forward and not think about it twice. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing pretty well, but it's these keyboard warriors, you know, like that are just hanging around the fringes. It's just, you know, it does provide some good entertainment for me. And that's why, like my Flutter's Tears can that I made and everything like that. And, like, I love it. I brought it to Vegas, you know, and was drinking out of it there. I don't know if I have any pictures with that. That is a missed opportunity there. But it's fun. It's fun to see them continue to build, you know, and we do have to be patient. Someone was on here and they were just like, listen, yeah, like they appreciate us, you know, and watching that. And it's just like this patience to conviction thing. And that's what I've loved about crypto is really trying to jump into projects where they're really trying to build something here. Right. And I love that. And they're actually making money. So like VeVe and Omi have been one of my biggest conviction plays over the last 5 years. And there's reason for that. And you see all of these, as you get into the community, you see all of these amazing people. You got like Dog Boy and his wife, they're always coming, they're making VeVe stuff and handing it out to people, you know. I mean, like, and there's multiple people like that in the community that come and they've just created stuff and they're handing it out. And it's amazing that way. But then again, you do have some incredibly talented, gifted people in business. You've got Sanjay, right? Mr. MC1, super, extremely successful, Dr. Profit, and they're continuing to build out this community. It's amazing, man. And so, yeah, happy to be a part of it. And it's really exciting to see this new announcement. And I think we got more in store. I think there's more in store that's coming down the pike here from Omi and VeVe. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, what you're saying about Dog Boy and Mr. MC, there's a lot of people that they consume content, and then there's people that create content. And one of the good things I think we see on VeVe is there's a lot of creators in the space. Whether it's someone like Kaki Gaijin who goes in and he started to make those I don't know if it was Sora or Grok videos. He takes a picture in AR with a VeVe collectible. His specialty is Anna and Elsa. Which now Kaki Gaijin, you're going to be able to get some free collectibles from doing that. There'll be some challenges. YouTube did a video on that. VeVe did a video on that recently. But he goes in and he creates, like, here's Elsa, but now she's sniffing a flower. Now she's shaking hands. Now she's, and I think with all of these creators, we're going to eventually have a bunch of consumers that come in and want to consume that content. Back in the day, so Sleeping Comic, who I think he mentioned that VeVe Rank, if anyone remembers that website, he'd gone back to it recently and he said, like, hey, look at all these people that were here in 2021 and you see all of the people that were making videos constantly. And there were people that had watched every single one of all of our videos. Like they couldn't get enough of it. And I think that comes back at some point, especially now that you have a lot of people, like, again, people that are coming back because we're now going to self-custody our collectibles. So I think as long as we maintain a healthy amount of content creators, then the consumers will come. It was rough here for a while when it was just us, but now it seems that some people are coming back. Chris Coffey's on his way back, and NFT Pirates, even Jeremy Padawar. Should we go to Jeremy Padawar's tweet?
Yeah, I think it's good to see, right? Like, it's how people are feeling.
Okay,
Uncle Jeremy, how's Uncle Jeremy feeling?
Uncle Jeremy, who's been quite salty at Omi for the last several months, if not years, he goes on and he says, "I was ready to be 100% mentally checked out of Omi. I was ready to never post about it again, but I'm impressed. There's a big exchange, Kraken, meaningful burns, utility, Omi to gems, which also has a 7% burn, which is insane, and self-custody." He says, "It might be too late, but it also might not be. There's a subtle heartbeat." Now, for me, I don't think this is subtle at all. I think this is a very strong heartbeat, so I think we disagree there. But he was very, very negative on Omi for the last several months, and now he's not. I assume if you ask him what things could VeVe improve, he'll say it's a sprint, and he'll want to do more things. But at the very least, we took someone that's very negative and now is at least slightly positive, and I think more people listen to him, and I think we'll get more and more people. But what do you guys make of his tweet?
I like him a lot, but this is a typical thoughts from somebody who's used to dealing with traditional markets and like traditional businesses. Like, they don't get the crypto cycle at all, and they're like, what they get mad about is the Omi price isn't going up, and they're like, Omi needs to do more, VeVe needs to do more to push that up. And it's like, in an environment where people aren't focused on crypto, yeah, there are a few things that you could do that could make your narrative run, but it's extremely, extremely difficult. I mean, some of it is the cascading effect that happens in a bull run where everyone's like searching for where blockchain really makes sense. And they look at, all of a sudden, fundamentals become really important in that window of time. And until then, you're just doing your thing. It's like you can surf a wave when the wave comes in. But before that, like, you can get on your board and you can paddle and you can move it a little bit, but you can't do that much. So a lot of people expect you should be able to surf when there's no wave there to surf if you just did more marketing or you did other things. And so it's like he was getting frustrated because the timeline wasn't lining up with what he wanted it to line up. And, as most do, blaming VeVe and Omi for it, or Komi. And now, like, there is some news, but also I think this recent pullback was really like the last ditch of, there were some cascading things that happened to really bring prices down. But if you look at the charts that just show how blow-off tops usually happen, and this is called a bear trap, where all these bears think the like top is in and we're heading to a bear market, and they get caught off guard. They start going really, really short, and they're like, yeah, Bitcoin topped out at 125 and it's just down from here. And they go short and they totally get wiped, because I think that run is coming. And maybe it goes down a little bit more from here on general. And I know Omi's been running up quite high. Maybe it comes back down to close to what the lows are, but it's probably not very far away that altcoin season comes. I mean, Bitcoin's already massively up, even with the recent pullback. The bottom was 14,000. And we're still in the bull run for Bitcoin. Altcoin season has not yet really hit. And so Omi has not yet benefited from that. And in that bull run, the altcoin bull run, Omi's going to do some amazing things. And then all of a sudden, everyone will be coming back alive. And like, I always believe in Omi. It's like, we have this thing called a Wayback Machine, but cool. Like, yeah, glad to have you back. Let's just say that.
Doc, what about yourself?
No, I think Rain hit it on the head. I really like Uncle Jeremy. I think he's super smart. But I could just see that he didn't understand crypto. I mean, the fact that he's like, it's a sprint, not a marathon. Like in some instances, for for projects that don't have long term viability, true, right? And that's what they do, right? They release all this bullshit news, they do all this stuff to hype up the token, they get all this money, and then they're gone. They're gone within a year, you know. And I have been a part of so many of those types of projects, like. Some of them, like they just were mismanaged. Others, just like timing. Like there's a lot of different reasons why, you know. But I read those and I just say, you know, as bearish as Uncle Jeremy is, he's not selling any Omi. I think he's gonna be really grateful that he didn't. You know what I mean? And so, but it's great. It's great to see that he's excited again. I think that this is something that like we all felt was coming at some point, right? Like we're just patient with it, and it's like, listen, they're still building. They're making money, and they're doing things in the background to build out an actual business that has long-term viability. Guys, 99% of the projects out in crypto, that's honestly not the intent of most of these projects. I'm telling you right now. They're like, listen, we're gonna raise it as much money as we can, and we'll put forward the good faith effort, but like we're out and we'll have sold. And I mean, it happens all the time. So to see a project like this with like an actual legitimate use case, all of these major IPs, and now you've got, and then they do start bringing community members. Like they just, listen, VeVe's made a lot of mistakes, but they've done a lot of things right too. And that's why they're still around. And so it's great to see that Uncle Jeremy is bullish today. You know, maybe in a month he's going to be bearish again, and I'm still going to feel the same way about him. I think he's great, but like, and I'm still going to feel the same way about VeVe and Omi, the Omi token.
So as in Star Wars says, as one force rises, so does another one. After Jeremy's tweet, Foster had posted this, not in response to it, or maybe indirectly. He says, going to be really candid here. Some of you may not want or even be ready to hear it, but some things just need to be said. I've been in crypto for half a decade, and in that time, I've watched so many blockchain and token projects do the same thing. They hype up a token, they raise a ton of money, and deliver absolutely nothing. Collect Chain is different. The team didn't go raise $100 million and promise the moon. They believe in what they're building, and they put their own money in and got to work. And you best believe they're working. They're building for the world's biggest brands and IP to come on chain. They're securing IP rights already for brands while ensuring provenance for collectors, while also expanding the possibilities of digital ownership via interoperability and self-custody. I firmly believe that in the not too distant future, VeVe will be a household name as the go-to place to collect officially licensed premium 3D digital collectibles. And with Omi powering the ecosystem where the world collects on Collect Chain, there'll be no limits to what can be accomplished. And we have Chuck and Hank saying, Foster's insinuated that there's more to come for Omi, and it won't be used as gas on the blockchain because Collect's a layer 2. It can just use ETH. It doesn't need a native token. Could we speculate on some of the potential possibilities for the further utilization of Omi? Because we already have so much. Like, what else can we expect?
Oh, is that a question to us?
Yeah, because I'll think about it too. But yeah, I was like, what other things can we expect or want? I guess crypto to land, I feel like could go back on the table now, but now they would need to incentivize a reason, to buy land.
Yeah, I like you being able to buy land in the VeVeverse with Omi. I like that. The right dominoes are really set up for the bull run for Omi to do incredibly well. And really, that's what most people are worried about. They're like, what else can Omi do to make sure it happens? And some of it is like, wait for the wave to come. Because like they remember all the promises they were making like 4 years ago. And 3 years ago, like almost none of those promises were accomplished yet. And it's like, no, this is never going to happen. And now like pretty much all those promises and then a whole bunch more have been delivered. They have done so many of the things they promised to do. And yes, some of them took longer than they wanted to. But now most of those things are done. Like they are set up. They continue to get really good IP. The digital collectibles thing hasn't really caught on internationally where everyone's going crazy over digital collectibles. But I think this bull run, it does. And so it's set up, ready to surf that amazing wave as it comes in. Do they need to give us more utility for Omi? Yeah, if they can think of good use cases for it, great. I think there's enough done already that like it's going to go wild.
Well, so a couple things, right? I think that VeVe can create some of like using its own IP, do some drops that are just Omi specific, right? And that can just burn. And you'll only be able to get them with Omi, right? You have to use Omi to land the drop. There could be like upgrades to certain collectibles that you have to pay an Omi. Kind of like what they did with this burn with Vader, and it was 10 gems, right? There's something that maybe they could work out with like maybe the licensor is like, it's got to be 10 gems, but then it's going to be like, well, for this one, it's going to be 10 gems and 50,000 Omi or something like that. And then that Omi is just directly burned, right? Like they can throw on little things like that. So yeah, like, and that's just off the top of my head as some things that, so, but yeah, different accessories as well in the VeVe verse. So there's, and again, that was a minute of trying to think, but I'm sure that we can come up with a lot more. Well, land sales would be a big deal. I agree.
Yeah, land sales would be cool. And your ideas are amazing. That would just add further stuff to it. I used to, back in 2021, I was really concerned about the use case of the token. And that if there isn't a strong use case for the token's never going to pump. Then 2021 happened, and the use cases for Decentraland's mana token were pretty minor. There was some use case is that you could buy some of the Decentraland items using the mana token, but that's pretty much the only use case. And then the sandbox token, similarly, that plus you then had to use it to buy land in sandbox. But those were really the only use cases for them. And yet when the metaverse narrative hit, their tokens went absolutely ballistic with very minor light use cases. And I realized, man, use cases weren't as important as I thought they were. Now they can be an augmenter, but really the narrative hitting is what's the major driver in massive price growth.
Yeah, I agree.
Have you guys ever played RuneScape?
I feel like I have, actually.
I've seen videos of it. I never played it.
It was big like 20-ish years ago.
Yeah.
Started in the early 2000s. You had to reach a certain level in order to make certain items. And it was very grindy. You had to go in and you had to spend hours upon hours, like every day, to get your level high enough. And not a lot of people wanted to do that. And there were so many skills. You could do it at smithing. You could do it at like cooking, chemistry, like all that magic. And there was this one chick that she reached a high enough level where she was the only one able to craft certain things. Now, obviously people were able to go in and say, hey, here's the supplies, craft it for me and I'll give you X amount of gold, X amount of whatever. And then there came a time where she's like, this is too much. Like everyone in the entire game is asking me to do this, and I'll take the levels, like I'll take the experience, I'll take whatever. But you know, a new item came out, and she's like, I'm only going to craft it for my friends, and they made like 33 of them. And these people were paying real money, like yes, in-game currency, but also outside game currency as well to try to get these. And I feel like we haven't seen that yet. We've seen a little bit of it in the last bull market, but in the last bull market, one of the scarcest Marvel items was Secret Rare Alligator Loki with like 800. Like everything else had 1,000 or 1,500, and some of the Marvel Mighties had like there's 20,000, 27,000 of some of the commons of Fantastic Four. So I feel like with this time we have not hit that metaverse narrative. Because last time it was just digital collectibles, and the Vader, like the Vader Samurai that was just crafted, there's only 367 of those, and I know that's different than like 33 items in RuneScape, and there's other Vaders, but that's the scarcest Vader, but and you can get it for like $22. So I think there's going to be some certain things like that. I don't have one, by the way. I'm not trying to pump my bags, but I think there's certain items that people are going to want, and they're going to pay really insane money for. And like I said, we haven't seen that yet, because we're still in kind of a bit of a bear market. And I guess that brings me to another point, which is Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, has said that he sees a lot of progress on the crypto legislation bill, and he thinks we could see it pass in December. We've had a rough, in 46 days, Bitcoin went down $46,000, $1,000 per day from 126 to 79.9. Is that it? Have we bottomed? Is this just a dead cat bounce? Is this a full reversal? What do you guys think?
Well, I think it's turned into a bear trap. So I think there's been some cascading things. Number one, you're seeing the problem with strategies like micro strategies where they're borrowing against their Bitcoin to buy more Bitcoin. And then when things go down, like there were a whole bunch of liquidation. Now, I don't think micro strategies is close to its liquidation point, but you see how things can cascade. A bunch of longs got liquidated, a bunch of positions on leverage got liquidated. You see the danger in that. And there were some other things. I guess the US went after this Bitcoin scam ring that was out of China and confiscated a bunch of the Bitcoin. And so then some other scammers all dumped their Bitcoin and just further cascaded the price down, which then trickled through the whole crypto market. So this kind of stuff happens and freaked so many people out. I mean, still they're freaked out. The fear and greed index went all the way down to like 10 on the fear side. Like, oh my gosh, you know, this is the end. And as Paul points out, when we do our videos on Wednesdays, he's like, at the true top, almost nobody's calling it top. And so the fact that so many people are so sure that it's the top, pretty much an indicator that's not. This is just a bear trap. It's going to wash out the weekends. And then the bigger leg of the run happens. And that's still to be played out. And most people have given up hope that that's going to happen. Not me. I remember essentially this time last cycle and arguing with people like, oh my gosh, you're just a perma bull rain. It's never going to happen. And then it happened. And those that were well prepared during the bear market that just dollar cost averaged and they just waited, we became really well off. And those other people didn't meaningfully change their lives because they were wrong and they sold early and they sold low and had to watch everyone else do really well and then just disappear from the crypto space altogether.
I love how Comi's teasing us with that little thought emoji there. It's like what other utilities could happen with Omi. I'm with Rain, right? Like I do not think that we're in the bear market now. It just doesn't, it feels off to me. Like it really does. I'm like, this just does not feel like what the bear market feels like. This doesn't feel fun, but like as things were going down last cycle, people were like, there was this euphoria. There has not been that euphoria yet. And there has been the euphoria every other cycle. There was just like, it's going to the moon and people are predicting all these crazy prices and things. And again, like my every taxi driver I have is not asking me, like about Bitcoin and, any of that. None of that happened like this cycle so far. And I do believe that we need more liquidity. And I think that liquidity is coming probably in end of Q1, beginning of 2Q. And I kind of like subscribe to Raoul Pal's like idea of just like how that's going to come about. And but we'll see. But for me, definitely not like a bear market. I do think that this is a bear trap. And I think that there's a chance that we could still, like, it could go down some more before it finally goes up. I don't know if this is like the last real drop. I think that there might be one more in. We'll see.
We'll be ready. I mean, I hope.
One of my community members in my private Discord messaged me and he's like, hey, Rain, do you think this is the end of like the and I was like, probably, but who knows? Like the truth is the market will kick you. And then when you think there's no more, it'll kick you a couple more times. And I said, it does. You don't have to know whether this is like the end of this downturn. What you know is we're not in that complete FOMO where all the taxi drivers are talking about crypto, which is when you sell and you hold to that point. And so it's like, when is that going to happen? Could really start kicking off late this month, next month, Might not kick off till March, April, May of next year. I don't know when. I know we're not there, and it's probably not that far away, but is it like 4 months from now? Is it 6 months from now? I don't know. But you'll know when we're there, because then everyone will say, this is different this time. It's never going to go down from here. This is just going to keep running up for forever. They said that in 2021. They said that in 2017. They said that in 2013. That won't be the case either. They'll be wrong there, but it will feel that way. And that's what you sell into. That's the time I'm waiting for. And people say, Rain, when are you going to sell? It's like, well, when we're experiencing that. Well, when is that going to happen? I don't have to know. And I don't even have to worry about it. This is just a longer term play for me that I just wait patiently till we're there. And we definitely have not hit that yet.
Agreed. There's a lot of things to be bullish about. We've been averaging about 2.745 million Omi burn per day over the last 6 days. It's an average of just over a billion Omi per year, which, granted, if we were to try to get the supply way down, that is, we'd take a couple hundred years to get it to nothing. But obviously, we don't need it to go to nothing. But that is very good marketing when we're able to say, like, yeah, we can burn percentage points per year. And this is with not a lot of users. That being said, we did double the amount of users recently. We went from about 750 to a little over 1,500 on any given day. Again, this is on average over the last couple of weeks. So I think this is one of the things that Kraken has seen when they were choosing to whether list us or not. So Kraken has filed for an IPO, and they've actually dropped several tokens because they were in lawsuits and it didn't look good. And I think that speaks volumes for Omi, because we're getting listed there soon. And they've obviously done their research and have come to the conclusion that Omi and VeVe are very safe and do things above board. How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel that because we're going to get listed on Kraken, others might renegade list us? There might be more listings ahead. Do we need any more listings? Because now, if you want to get the token, you can get the token. Is there a need to spend any more money on other listings, or just wait for other people to renegade us?
I think it's going to depend. If the Omi token starts doing well and there's a lot of volume, it'll get renegade listed. Like that's what happens, you know. So if Omi and VeVe can kind of continue this excitement, and then the market really starts to turn around, yeah, like I could definitely see renegade listings. And then I don't think that they need to pay for another listing right now. Like, one of the biggest things was having like a US exchange. Kraken's a great exchange, man. It's a great exchange. So I don't think that they need to spend any more money to do that, because, like, listen, if it's not going to work on Kraken, why is it going to work on Coinbase? Like I don't understand. You know what I mean? So bots, man, they're funny.
I see.
I know. But yeah, like that's my thing. But I could definitely see Omi start to get renegade listed if on other exchanges, if the volume really ramps up, because they get fees from that. And all these exchanges, they're looking at money, and they're saying, hey, if there's like a high volume there, then like absolutely we want to make money from that. We'll go buy the token and we'll create that supply there and build it out.
And Ray, what are your thoughts on Kraken filing for their IPO, delisting other tokens, but listing Omi? What do you think that says about the company and about the confidence that they see and their due diligence level?
Well, I bet you Omi was able to share things with them that we don't know about, and they were able to see the future of this, and they're like, okay, we're in a position ahead of this running, because we think in the bull market this one's really going to run. So yes, let's go ahead and list it. And the truth is, like, this is a really legitimate project in the crypto space. This is the type of stuff I look for. And what's funny is Omi's token has been so price punished. Like, what I love about crypto is this opportunity to buy so low and yet have things go so high. And it's crazy to me that Omi has been as low as it has during this bear market. And some people, because the chart pretty much, like, for 4 years, looks like the Omi's price has generally done nothing but go down, which generally that's true. They think it's just going to continue that way for forever. And they've been announcing Omi was dead for 2.5 years now. And, and it seems like they're right because it's just gotten cheaper and then cheaper and then cheaper. It's like, oh, Omi must be dead. But it doesn't play out that way. And when we have this bull run, like Omi and VeVe are super well positioned to get massive traction in, I think, one of the biggest narratives in crypto, which is digital collectibles. With top licensing brands that all these NFT projects would go crazy to have some kind of deal with. And yet VeVe has more top licenses in the world than any other project by far. And so they're just well positioned. And I think they don't need to put extra money in things. I think it would be nice if they also got on Coinbase. Not necessary, just nice, because US users, a lot of US users don't have Kraken accounts yet. But in a bull run, if it's not on Coinbase, you have a lot of people getting Kraken accounts just to get Omi. And if you're not in the US, it's been easily available to most of you in the world already anyway through some of the other exchanges it's on.
Agreed. So we're talking about someone was talking about the collect chain before. I don't know when the testnet will be available on or when it goes live. There'll be a website next month about it. And once the website goes live, then there should be more information. And then the transition happens in Q1. But right now, I just took a look at the partner statue, which I think Doc was telling me before, where we were at, I think, 1,200 on the VeVe app and 1,400 on Stacker. And now we're at 2,400 on the VeVe app and 1,600 on Stacker. And that happened very quickly. And I think it's that a lot of people outside of VeVe or maybe they were old school VeVe, they're coming back. I don't know if you remember when we had that one guy, I forget his name, but he had like 7 or 8 Bored Apes. And when he heard that first appearance, Mickey Mouse was on the blockchain. It's like, hey, I'll trade someone my Bored Ape. At the time, it was worth over $250,000 for first appearance Mickey. And then when he found out we weren't able to be self-custody, he's like, I don't want my stuff in a walled garden. I'm sorry, guys. And he dipped. Now, I don't know if that person's going to come back, but that particular person, even if he doesn't, many like him, we probably will. And I know we don't really do like a ton of speculation on here, but I think that some of these items, like, again, this isn't a JPEG. Even if it was, it would be a JPEG of first appearance Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney or Vader. I think a lot of times people live in these fish bowls like, that's too much for this collectible. And I've seen it in Pokemon. I've seen it in gold and like any type of collectibles. Could we see 100K partner statue? Could we see 100K spider? I think now that we're able to go in, Dr. Profit confirmed yesterday that we're able to go into MetaMask and it's 100%. It is 100% available to go in and be able to be used on these other third-party apps. What do you guys think? Where do we go?
I think that we've already seen that Spider-Man and the partner statue can do very, very well when there's a lot of liquidity in the market. And so is it possible? I do think that it's possible. And I think that, yeah, if people, the narrative that like they do feel like to a certain extent there is self-custody or there is some interoperability, and we'll see that, yeah. So the guy actually who he was a big Bored Ape holder, his tag is Franklin. Franklin had a ton of, and I know this because I responded to him and I said, I will make that trade because I wanted a Bored Ape at the time, right? And then someone under me responded and be like, don't do it, bro. This is why they're not self-custodied. And that's kind of like what happened there, you know. But I do think that people will be more open to it. And as digital collecting becomes more and more of a thing, as people like, if it gets more widely accepted, there's no doubt in my mind that the first Disney NFT with Walt and freaking Mickey will do very, very well. It will do very well, you know. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But I continue to be bullish, and I do think that VeVe, even just like long term, is a long term project, and that's really difficult for a lot of crypto people to understand, because they do kind of go in these cycles, and everything is shorter time frames and things. And so to think about a company that's still building, and that long term, maybe like some of the prices don't go as crazy as they could compared to others in the crypto cycle, but like long term, this could do crazy numbers. And what I mean by that, think about this. Think about in 15 years from now, if digital collecting has hit mainstream and VeVe's still around, and like it will be like, honestly. So I don't know if you saw that what is it, the pawn shop episode, right, where the guy brings in a freaking what did he bring in, Randy? I forgot.
Well, there's two you might be referencing. One is a Pokemon card, and the other is
Mystic Axie on Pawn
yeah.
Stars.
A Mystic Axie, yeah, a Mystic Axie, Axie Infinity, right? And they brought in like I think it was Pawn Stars, and they ended up buying it, right? They ended up buying it, and they got this person that was like, yeah, this is super rare and things. So 15 years from now, think about this, right? Digital collecting is a whole thing. The glasses, basically you can pin digital collectibles up in your house, and people can basically connect to your setup there, and they're seeing all of your digital art and all your digital collectibles. Like, you better freaking believe that Marvel Comics #1, the partner statue, those are going to be extremely rare and sought after. If in 15 years that's digital collecting is a thing, which I believe it will be like the old comic books, the golden age comic books. It's going to be the same freaking thing. So, and we just saw how much did Superman sell for, right? Like $9 million,
$9.1 million.
Yeah. But the problem with that is that, again, the problem with that, and why I think that some of these digital collectibles will still sell for more, is because that person, the only time that they can show that is basically they take a picture and they show it, or they try to bring people in, right? But with these digital collectibles and the AR, VR, you'll be able to go to their freaking metaverse or their VeVeverse, right? And you can see that, and you know that they own that. Because, again, even someone who takes a picture of a physical copy, people are like, how do I know that's yours? Unless I can see it in real life, whereas in the VeVeverse on the blockchain, it's validated, right? Man. So it's like, and I think that the people like Dr. Profit, who've been super successful, the Sanjays of the world, I mean, and there's so many more, Mr. 41, right? Like, I just blanked out on his name, who has like a bazillion Spider-Man.
Mr. Squibs.
Mr. Squeebs.
Oh,
Mr. Squeebs.
God.
Yeah, right. Like, listen, I feel like they are taking a very educated bet on the long-term viability of this, and they are spending hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on this, and there's a reason why. Just saying.
He got his 44th Amazing Fantasy, not his
That's
44th secret rare. Bro,
that's crazy.
That is 20% of the entire freaking market. I am, oh my God. That is.
Wait, what's the percentage?
Well, there's 250 in circulation. So if you times it by 0.2, that's 50. So he's got like 0.118. He's got 18% of the entire secret. Like,
that's crazy.
And now, granted, it's not like everyone else is distributed everywhere. Dr. Profit has 11, Solani has 3, KM3000 has 3. Oh my God, Tina Garcia's got 2 of those? Good for her.
Well done, Tina.
Good for her.
Okay. Tina's so awesome. I love Tina.
So, and this is with, these prices with, now granted, we've doubled our active daily users recently. We've gone from 750 to 1500. But have you guys seen the new Rockstar guy?
Oh, the new partner with VeVe?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So he's got 4.5 million subscribers on YouTube, millions others on other socials, a couple hundred thousand. I texted VeVe Magic, like, speaking about partner statue on live, and she's like, I'm here physically and mentally. She's ready because she's got a bunch of partner statues. We get to, this guy has millions of followers, and he put VeVe, like, he has his code, like, it I don't think this was a paid sponsorship. He's got his code, and you get 10 free gems, and everyone that uses his code and uses those gems in the store, he gets $10, $15, $20 from. If you have 1,000 people, that's $20,000. So I think that this is going to be, once he makes money with it, people are going to be heavily incentivized to go in and do the same thing as he does. Now, again, that's if 1,000 people join. Even if 100 people join, it's just a couple grand. Like, I don't know if other ones like him will do it with just 100 people joining and you make a couple grand on it. But I think people with 9 and 10 and 20,000 subscribers are like, yeah, I'll do that. But again, if he goes and gets 1,000 people, makes 20K, I think other people will get that bread. Rain, what do you think about that?
Well, so I was thinking about why some people can't see what's coming. And when I did real estate investment, I called this golden vision. It's the ability to see what's coming before it happens. And you can kind of add up, do the math to get approximate what the result is going to be without being able to see the future. And in real estate, like I often use the example of this guy that I knew that had the opportunity to buy this land where later on a Walmart was built. So like 30 years prior, he could have bought it for like, it was 20 or 30 years prior, could have bought it for $30,000 with no down payment and making interest-free payments on it. But he didn't because, well, there weren't neighborhoods around there yet. And one of the major roads was cut in, the other one wasn't. And he's like, there's nothing there. And he couldn't see like the city plan and be like, oh my gosh, that's probably highly likely going to be a major intersection, and be able to see that, well, down the road, like neighborhoods would get built out around there and that would actually be a central location in the future. And he just didn't have any golden vision. Unless it was right before his eyes, he couldn't see it. And a lot of times with this, like, with VeVe and Omi, number one, people have been watching prices go down for like 3 years. They're like, it's never going to happen. Number two, they can't see all these pieces coming together and realize that like augmented reality is going to be an even bigger deal in the future than it is now. Digital collectibles probably are going to be one of the biggest social flexes that people can be doing, that probably Saudi princes will be coming in and they'll be like, oh, Mr. Squibs has 20% of the supply of, I'm going to get 35%. But because Mr. Squibs isn't willing to sell, and a lot of the people aren't willing to sell until the price go way, way higher, they would have to pay 10 or 20 or 30 times the price to try to get 30% of the supply. And that would drive the prices up like crazy. And they can't see how these things can come together. Like you have this major influencer that's doing a brand, that's now talking about VeVe on his big channel. And that's just the first of many. So people can only see what's happened till now, and they can't be like, oh, these pieces are coming together and I can see this happening, because they don't have golden vision. And golden vision is a requirement to be able to make your money make money for you, which is really what I'm doing in the crypto space. I'm taking money, I'm putting it to work for me to make a lot more money for me. But in order to do that, I have to be right more than I'm not. And I like Omi for that. I like the VeVe collectibles for that. I'm seeing the right things setting up that is going to be crazy. And I think we've just scratched the surface with these big YouTubers catching on and sharing VeVe collectibles. I think that goes huge. I think in the future, a lot of the ones that got huge into Pokemon are going to go crazy for VeVe, because it's got a lot of the same principles, and you don't have to like mail these cards to people like you did with Pokemon and hope they didn't get stolen in the mail, and then you have some kind of claim and get a charge back, and then like you're screwed, because they can just go on the marketplace and sell right there. So not only will they be covering it, but they'll be buying and they'll be talking about their purchases as well. And I think it goes wildly viral.
It has that possibility, man. It has that possibility, right? Like, and very, very few projects really do have that possibility of just going viral where it catches on. And I mean, we saw a little bit in the last cycle, right? Where you had a Barcelona player post on his Instagram, Captain America at the Christmas tree, the SR Captain America, right? Like doing that, like that animation, freaking like a starter for Barcelona. Like, I don't know if you guys know soccer, but like that dude had millions of followers. And I'm sure that they were just like, what was that? And he didn't really comment much on it, right? He just showed it. But imagine if it gets hyped like that, you know? What if it's on freaking Jimmy Fallon? That's why Bored Ape really took off. Is Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton started talking about it on the Jimmy Fallon show. And then from there it went crazy, right?
Justin Bieber got in on it.
Yeah, Neymar got in on it, right? Like some really, really big names. And so imagine that with freaking VeVe stuff, right? Where people are taking AR. If that gets a trend on TikTok or on Instagram, right? Just like posting it with your ARs and stuff like that. Like, man, like game over.
Yeah, and the AR seems to look like it's going in a better direction. Again, they just posted that whole video. It looks really great. Getting free collectibles for that. We're talking about a lot of the neutral people becoming positive or people just coming in from the positivity that they see, but we're not talking about the fudders. And there's an episode of Recess where Miss Finster's talking to Principal Prickly, and she's like, hey, instead of just punishing TJ Detweiler, why don't we turn him? And it's like, remember how Menlo was? And there's a whole flashback of how Menlo was this like crazy troublemaker, wild child. And now he's like the office clerk. And they're like, what if we make TJ Detweiler instead of what he is and instead turn him into, another Menlo? And Foster Hilt had posted a photo yesterday, and it was of this guy. I mean, he's posted on Facebook. It was probably one of the biggest fudders on the VeVe Facebook, that has done nothing but criticism when it's used constructively. Love it. But it was nothing but just bashing on the company and David and Dan and me and the token for several months, if not years. And finally he posts like a bullish thing saying like, hey, it's confirmed layer 2, 100% EVM compatibility, talking about collect chain. And now suddenly he's positive. Now kudos to this guy as being one of the people that didn't necessarily admit that he was a fudder, but doing it on the same account. But you're going to have people that have been fudding for a long time. They're going to abandon their X account and make a new one, be like, hey guys, I'm here. I'm just, or delete their old stuff. What do you think that does? Have you guys seen anything like that? I know you guys aren't on X as much as I am, but have you guys seen stuff like that?
Well, I just saw one recently where the account is Goldie, right? And basically he retweeted Jeremy Padowar's tweet and stuff like that. And then who was it? Was it like O'Malley or someone commented under and was like, you know things are going in the right direction if Goldie is saying something positive about VeVe, right? And Omi. So like that exact same scenario there. And look, I get it. People are frustrated, and because they bought into this idea that things were going to pump, and then it didn't pump, and so they're frustrated. They thought they were making money, and then they've listened to all of these, serial fudders that all they do is like any good news, and they try to see if there's any weak point that they can attack on it, right? And they listen to those people because they're upset, right? And they're like, well, these guys are they're the ones telling like the truth. They're the ones just pointing out all the things, and they just buy into this narrative. But they're still hanging around. They're still interested in that. And as things turn around, I do think that like, I didn't think about people just abandoning their FUD accounts and then just starting a new one. That kind of like made me laugh. You know what I mean? Just like they're like reverse course, but like now I can't show my face, like tied to this account anymore. I got to start a new one, which is totally gonna happen, man. That's totally gonna happen.
Yeah, and, I guess the guys. So here's what the butters have basically been doing, and it's just like, turning around. There's that big reversing meme. But yeah, apparently Squirrel Not Sure. I vaguely remember that name being super fudder. I think it's blocked, but now he's buying comments again, and even Omi. This is insane.
He like did some personal attacks on me, so I blocked him. I'm out. I won't ever add him back. Like you can be a fudder and you can be upset and totally fine with that, but the minute you start personally attacking people, you're gone for me. And unless there's a massive public apology and I really feel it's sincere, like you're done. Yeah.
Do we so some on my own personal stream, someone asked about like, hey Chavez, when Cavell Anderson comes back, because we know he will, will you have him on? I was like, well, yeah, on my own personal stream, I'm curious, like where'd you go? What did you do? And why are you back now? Like I'd be curious.
Yeah.
Do we welcome back people that like what's the line? I guess personal attacks the line.
Let me just say something real quick about Cavell, because he came on my stream, right? When I was kind of pointing out some sus transactions with one of the meme tokens that he was involved in, right? And you know, he was in the comments and he's just like that, like kind of trash talking and saying all this stuff. And then like I'm like, come on in, man. Like I'm not gonna sit there and like point out this stuff and not have the guts to have you on here to defend yourself. I'll never do that. I always want to give people the opportunity to clear their name. And I'll say this, right? Cavell has a public persona that is very antagonistic, is very bombastic, right? Like he just gets a lot of attention. He's a great marketer. Say what you will about the guy, he is a great marketer, right? But on a personal level, when I was chatting with him, I was like, he's a pretty cool dude. Like as like not his like Web3 persona or you know his like YouTube persona, but as a person, I was like, yeah. I think you should have him on the channel. You should have him, or we could have him on here. It'd be interesting to chat with him and have him on. But like I followed him, he followed me back. I still follow him, you know, like on X. So yeah, he's one of the ones that like. Now there's one guy, like I won't even freaking mention his name. That guy's a clown. I cannot. There are very few people in this world that I am just like, you are just a terrible person. Like as a whole, you are not a good person. And that's this guy. And I think a lot of you guys probably know who I'm talking about, honestly. And that says a lot, right? If that guy ever shows his face again, we should legitimately stonewall this guy. That guy does not deserve to come back in this community ever. Nothing ever.
Preach.
And I will like freaking shun anyone who does accept him back. I'm so mad.
Yeah. So quick note to all the viewers, I'm sure you all know this, but any comment shilling like a pre-sale, it's absolutely a scam.
Yeah.
There's no legitimate pre-sales that you're going to have access to buy over the internet this way. So all those comments coming in, it's been happening the last number of weeks. Yeah, can we invite Paul Barron on? Yeah, Paul Barron, sure. Like, I don't want to invite the super toxic people because I don't want to give somebody like that a microphone. Why? We don't have time in this world. Just because they have an opinion doesn't mean we have to bring them on to voice it. And when they're super toxic like that, they've permanently unearned any of my attention. Like, I don't enjoy talking to people that are toxic. And I removed, like in my personal life, I remove toxic people. If I see somebody that's like highly deceptive and everything, like they're done. I see certain things come out. I see them stab other people in the back. They're done. I don't invite them to things. I don't like, sure, someone else invites them and they invite me and I go to an event, they're there. I never invite those kind of people around. I don't have those people around in my life. Why? Because my life is so much more peaceful now. I used to try to help those people and do all this. And, you know, after 5 knives in the back, I would still be like, oh, yeah, maybe if I just served them harder. And then I learned in life, man, why am I making my life so hard by surrounding myself with people like that? And I purged all of that. And I was like, man, my life is so peaceful because I'm surrounded just by good people. And I'm surrounded with people that disagree with me all the time. But people that disagree with me, they're dealing in good faith. In fact, I love it when people disagree with me because I want to hear the reasons why they disagree with me, just to double check my thinking and see if maybe I'm missing something. But people who are toxic, that's a different story. And that's what Doc is talking about. Somebody who's toxic, that's like just absolutely toxic. No, we're not have them on. Not a chance in the world. We'd never bring them on. Why would we give them a microphone? What have they done to earn that other than being toxic? Oh, sorry, won't happen.
So we actually have a video here from Paul Barron saying
I just wanted to apologize to the VeVe fan for saying that VeVe was dead. I was oh so wrong. It's actually my channel that is dead.
Oh my gosh, bro. Are you kidding?
In case anyone is over the age of 60 here.
We should clip that and put that at the end of every one of our
Oh my
Omi
gosh.
and My Homie episodes.
I was not ready for that, bro. Oh my gosh. That's so was that Death Bunny? Who did that?
So
Or was it Mark?
I won't say who did it, but it's because it was private video. They haven't released it yet, but it's obviously it's AI. For those that didn't know.
Yeah, obviously it's AI. We totally want a copy of that when we do our music video for Omi Billionaire. Like, I want to have that.
Oh my gosh, bro!
In the
So yeah, that was good times.
So
I don't know who's got I mean we know that Dr. Prop is the CEO of CollectChain and Stack are there, but I don't know who else might own it. But I know that him and David are very good friends, and they're 100%. That I see no conflict with them in the future. But shout out to people that are collecting a bunch of the supplies of one item where you guys become the store. This is great. We love that. Anyway, get back to we will stop in about a half hour here, about 29 minutes. So until then, we have more stuff to talk about. We got Dr.
You
Stuff.
showed that right when I was drinking water, bro, and it like went down the wrong tube. Trying to get it out.
Shout out to Metaverse Life for selling out his drop. He goes over $25,000. And I think that this proves our thesis over the past couple of years, saying that VeVe can make a collectible out of anyone or from any one of the influencers in the fam, and they can make hundreds of thousands from that. Again, we had 25K just from that. And he made his Collectors at Heart series. But we've seen it before with VeVe Magic and My Collectibles and Corey. And I think at some point they're going to go around to the influencers and be like, hey, let's go make collectibles. I think Dr. Stuff should have some gym flipping action with his flips if it's animated. Rain, what would your animation be?
I want to make it rain.
With your hands or with the gun?
No, and like tokens coming down, falling out of the air, and filling up the coffers like this, you know, like
it's tokens, dude. Just
dropping. Filling up, yeah, and then filling up like the vault that you're in, and it's like, you know, then you can Scrooge McDuck swim through it. You know, he'd be like this swimming through it, and all the nephews would try to swim through his gold vault, and like they'd hit the coins and like and like bounce. Where he could just anyway, it wouldn't be that expensive. Probably just making it rain,
dude. So we got making it rain. I'd have to have Boston gear. I don't know. They might have some. They might have some like IP issues with that actually. So, but yeah. Anyways, definitely like doing some flips, and then Randy, yours has to be like everyone say goodbye to Dashi. Bye bye Dashi. Like that would be like one of the animations, man.
Get Dashi in there. I am writing Dashi's own comic. Dash will be brought into the cat, so Dashi will have his own comic on VeVe at some point. It's really good. Like the first part, it's pretty good. I can't wait for people to read it. It'll probably be like 2027 though. We have a lot of other things to get through before that comes out. But yeah, that'd be fun.
Wait, I wanted to shout out Metaverse Life. Can I listen? That guy is a class act, man. He's done so much for this community. I don't know if you guys remember, but like he did a lot of the animations, and he did like those VeVe like races, you know, with the collectibles. Just like he's done so much, and so I loved seeing his project sell out there. That Collectors at Heart series, I got to be a part of that and interview and meet him in real life, and like even just like recently, like this year I went through some crazy crap, man. It was the hardest year of my life, and kind of was able to talk to him about that for a little bit. And like at the Vegas party, like I hadn't seen him in a while. And the first thing he does, he's just like, how are things going, man? How are you doing? Like just such a class act. Oh, like that guy is awesome. So I have his whole set. about several of the records, the physical records and stuff. And just love to see that success. And I love that VeVe continues to work with community to do these things, right? Like you said, with the magic and the Corey and my collectibles, and like Randy, like this cat comic that they're working with you on. Like that's also just like such a testament to an awesome project that I think this really has long-term viability, is when the community, they really get the community involved and they care about the community, and they've hired several people from the community. I love it, man. I freaking love VeVe. It's so funny because like I'll talk to people, I'll wear VeVe hoodies and stuff, and I'm like, I'm telling people, or when they were like, "Hey, so you're going to Vegas? Like what are you doing there?" And I'm like, "Oh, like there's this awesome like crypto project that I've known, like, and they've been around for 5 years, and like they do digital collectibles," and people are just like, and I'm like, I'm telling you, if you came, you'd have a freaking blast. The community here is amazing. I love it, and I had a freaking blast. Tammy and I and Kuma, we we did the Fremont Street zip line. Yeah, man. That was so fun. It was so fun. But yeah, back to the collectibles. Listen, you know, I wouldn't, you know, we'd have to discuss VeVe. You know, if you want to do collectible with me, we'll see what we can put together.
I want to focus on, is Arcturus trolling here?
No, he's for real. That's for real.
He has 25 of the 150 secret rare.
Yep.
Oh my God. Okay. Colette says, how likely do you think it is that Omi can be one of the few rare coins that pumps even when the market dumps? I feel like we've seen that for the last like couple weeks. Bitcoin going down. Omi did like a 2.5x. Mr. MC1. He didn't say he bought Omi, but he's been making these posts like, shout out to everyone that bought down at the bottom. You're up 2.5x now. So I love him for hyping that up. Goes sideways in the next few months. I mean, I have been asked this a lot, and it would make sense that Omi doesn't really pump until after you have some quantitative easing, the tightening ends, Jerome Powell gets out of office, 2026 budgets are in full swing, and everyone's buying crypto. You have a blow off top on ETH, and then that gives you a blow off top on NFTs, like the old school stuff, and then goes to digital collectibles. But that would make sense, and it's crypto, and crypto doesn't make sense. So it could send at any moment. We don't know. Or it could go back down 0001s. Anywhere in between. If it's poly market, it would be 50-50. Because I have no idea. What do you guys think?
I got distracted by Slider's comment. Rain gold for Moon Boys, but then have Thunderbolt hitting the flutters. And then my mind squirreled on like Rain Bolt hitting the flutters. Or like Thunderbolts lightning hitting the flutters. That'd be funny.
We could have Omi Billionaire playing in the background. Maybe not. Maybe the copyright issues. Shoot.
There will be that. That video will not be able to be monetized because too close to what is it? Bruno Mars. I want to be a billionaire.
The question was just, you know, can Omi go up while the rest of the market goes down? And I feel like we have done that the last couple of weeks, but that's only a few weeks. I think it can send at any moment. I don't really expect it to send until next year, but again, I don't know. You've been in this longer than me, so you have better insight.
Some of it is like, with the way I do things, I don't have to predict in the short term what it's going to be like, because trying to predict in the short term is like a fool's errand. So the probabilities when you're trying to predict the short term go really, really bad for you. The probabilities in trying to predict the longer term are much, much more solid. So the way I set it up, like I just dollar cost average when prices are low based on my fundamental analysis. And sometimes in the bear market, they get even cheaper, and then it gets even cheaper, and then it gets even cheaper. And you don't have to know where the bottom is. Like that principle works. And then when crypto goes absolutely nuts, or your narrative absolutely hits and everyone's talking about it, then it's sell time. And it's that simple. Just because it's that simple doesn't mean it's not hard, because mostly people get freaked out. Like a week ago, people freaking, oh my gosh, we're all gonna go, it's gonna go to zero. Oh no, what if it keeps going down from here? And all the stories say it's gonna go down from here. just realize that 95% of people do bad in crypto. When all the stories are saying it's just going to go down from here, do you think the 5%ers are buying into that? Or do you think the 95%ers are buying into that? Well, the 95%ers. So what does that mean? Don't freaking listen to it. And you just literally counter trade the major sentiment, and you end up doing pretty well. You especially do pretty well if you buy fundamentally strong projects when their price is really, really punished.
Got a tourist saying that crack. I mean, yeah, there's some people that really don't know what Omi is yet. They could be newer whales, and they've only been following the trends, and the trends have been. I think we had meme coins. We had a little bit of a gaming, I think, last year, and then privacy recently. So if they're newer in the space and they've been following trends, well, we haven't really hit that trend yet, and Kraken could definitely help us. We've got Dr. Profit in his AMA yesterday made special care to talk about how they can host Candy collectibles. Candy being the platform that Futureverse had acquired. Now Futureverse is out of business. Candy's kind of up for grabs. Do you think he was dropping a hint or just trying to get people pumped?
I hope it's a hint. That would be amazing.
I would love that. I mean, I love competition. I think that it's vital. But like it is what it is right now. And so like I would rather VeVe acquire it if possible than have it, sit there for a while and nothing be done, So I do think that was interesting. Like why would he say that? Why would he say that? You know what I mean? Why would he say that? So I'm speculating that that might be a hint, and maybe the hint is that like wherever Candy decides to go, as long as they say like that they could talk to whoever and just say, hey, you could list. There's another marketplace that you could list these on if you want, and you'll get your royalties for it. So it'll be interesting.
There's a couple of people talking about David Yu, and I don't have one. Well, I don't have the secret rare. I think I have one of his commons. Same with VeVe Magic, because they're $1,000, and that's a little expensive. And I'm sure people will I'm sure that'll go up at some point, but that's not my. I need my $1,000. But speaking of collectibles going into the thousands, we had a $3,000 bounty claim yesterday. It was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles diorama, and then we've had a couple of unclaimed bounties. There was a $4,000 bounty for the 1987 Ryu. There was actually a $6,000 bounty from Draco.eth, and Michael Bauman, which spent over $10,000 trying to get it, was not going to sell it for $6,000. He just he minted it and he got it. That being said, there is a $4,000 bounty on the Michelangelo number 1987. That is coming out on the 29th, so that is a few days away. And Commodore Crypto has said that bounties are a way where he can help get paid through his affiliate link. Newer people come in from that. But then you have Draco.eth saying like, no, for collecting, it should just be private, and you get a lot of pomp and fanfare, and it makes the whole thing a little, lack of a better word, says a little disgusting, little weird. Because some collectors do think that. What are you guys' opinions on the bounties? I think it creates hype, but and I think that's good, but others feel like it's not.
I think the bounties are fun because for the people that take the bounties, it offers them an opportunity to immediately cash out for sometimes huge gains. So I like them. They just add more fun to the space.
Yeah, like I think that's weird that they think it's weird. Like what? I mean, do they think that the whole like advertisement or all this stuff around the selling of the Superman #1 is weird? Like, I'm kind of surprised by that. I mean, listen, to each his own and stuff, but for me, yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it brings more attention to the space, which is what we want. Listen, if you want mainstream adoption, the more really large sales that you have, the more mainstream adoption you're going to get. Like, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, I don't think that people would care if Superman #1 sold for $20.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any news media, you know, like, but if it's selling for freaking $9 million, then everyone's paying attention and more people are like, what is up with like these super old comics, you know, and rich people are like, what is up with that? Why is someone dropping $9 million on that? And that gets interest into the space. So I like that. And so, yep, keep going. Comics and crypto. I think it's amazing. In fact, I claimed a bounty for them for one of the things a while ago. And I regret it. I wish I had kept it actually. Now,
yeah, they're still going to do their bounties in gems, which I wish they would do it in Omi, but he says like, well, we don't want to sell any of our Omi, and I know you could just repurchase it back, but we can buy gems on our credit card and we get like 3% back on it. So it like makes more sense for them to buy the gems on the website, getting the 3% back, as opposed to trying to buy like send money to their Coinbase, convert to USDC to replace the Omi. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I think that with Draco, I'm rereading his stuff now, saying whoever lands a bounty knows that they already have that amount guaranteed, so it's natural for them to push more, even if you're already offering the highest number. So I think he just doesn't want the bounties to be pushed up because again, he tries to put a lot of bounties on there as well.
So I see. So maybe I misunderstood. So he's fine with bounties, but like making it so public or something like that. Maybe that he feels like that then people will ask more, and it just makes it.
He said that if a bounty comes from someone you know, making a public counter bounty can feel uncomfortable, like turning it into a public showdown instead of a simple conversation between collectors. I think he just wants it to be just a little more private. But again, like I think the rising tide raises all ships, and you have the more hype you get, the more people you get, and maybe he's concerned that as a lot more people with money come in, he's just not going to be able to get some of these bounties. Which fair point. You're going to have to spend more. Fun Under the Sun says, great karaoke song, Rain. Really nice seeing you guys again in Vegas. Heck yeah. That was fun.
Good seeing you, brother.
He's a stud.
We saw Doc there for a minute. What's up, Mark? We love you.
Dude, wait, I just shout out to Mark. It was really funny though. Like I saw Mark at Fremont Street and like I looked and like he was looking at me and I was like, who is that guy? He looks like Mark. And then I was like, it is Mark. It's so weird to see people like their pictures and then see them in real life. Dude, it was so funny. I was just like, what the heck, man? Mark's awesome. I love being able to see so many people there. And Fun Under the Sun is such a cool guy too. There's so many awesome people in this community. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had good times. What was the karaoke? So much mystery.
It might have involved some stripping. So maybe.
It was great. It was a big hit. Loved it. And yeah, Fun Under the Sun. You're awesome. Love hanging out with you. One of the last things we have. We had a couple more minutes. Shout out to the 600 people that are here. We love y'all. But Arcturus, you have been commenting on big crypto profiles, David Portnoy and Crypto.com specifically, and I see you out there, you and VeVe Viral, doing the Lord's work. And we used to have a raid group. What happened to that? I feel like nobody posts there anymore. It's fine if we don't have a official answer, but I don't even remember what Telegram that was in though.
But you got to remember that like there's like a delay of like 10 seconds or something like that from like when you ask that to him being able to hear it. So you'll probably get a text or a message there in the chat. But there you go. There it is.
Oh, I was asking in general because I think weren't we part of the raid group? I didn't know Arcturus was part of the raid group.
I thought you said rate group, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Raid group. The raid, like the.
Yep, I am part of that group, and it did die. It did die. It was kind of being led by some individuals, and like, listen, I can't blame them for being like, well, like, but I would raid, and I think, listen, all crypto projects do that. By the way, they all have massive raiding parties on things. They're like, go raid this tweet, and there's different ways that they do it. They can incentivize within Discord, and it's like you get these points or you get something for raiding and things. But listen. And that's one thing I got to say. It is shocking to me how some people continue to like trash Omi and VeVe and yet like continue to buy this stuff. And I'm like, I've never seen certain people work so hard to FUD their own bags. Like, I don't get it. That's like the weirdest thing to me. Can you imagine like you're buying Tesla shares and then at the same time you're just like, Elon Musk, like you're the worst, and like these Tesla cars are crap. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like, that's crazy. I love it. So Raid group would be great though. Like to go in and just show the strength of the VeVe community, because we got an awesome community. That'd be good.
So I guess last thing before we bounce, yesterday they had announced a 1 of 1 as a Dynamite comic by Joe Mad X, and it was a little risque, little looks cool, but I feel like nothing you don't see outside of a video game. And then there was a comic that came out I think today or last week. It was called I forget what it was called, something Christmas. Scary
Manny,
Christmas.
you're not showing it, bro. Don't show it.
I can't show it. But it shows a little bit more than what the Dynamite one did. And how did they get away with that? Because again, it shows some. Is VeVe turning the corner and they're going a little more risque, like a little more R and X rated? Are they? And if you guys want to know what we're talking about, go on VeVe Comics, type in Scary Christmas, and buy one of the NFTs. And I think regardless of which cover you get, you might get a little something you're not expecting. KYC right now is 18 and older, so they can do technically whatever they want. Although I don't know if KYC is really needed anymore. How would Disney feel about this? How do we?
Yeah, I'm not buying the comic. I'll just put that. I was pretty surprised when I was pretty surprised. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, I was wondering if VeVe could maybe like, okay, well, if they do this, could they do certain magazines where they have other things? And because I mean, I think that would do, especially old school Playboys or old school like actual collector's items. That's not just smut. It's like, hey, this piece of history here is the first Hustler, is the first whatever. I think that would be interesting. Oh gosh, there's a lot more comments. Potential future IP, would each of you spend a lot? Pokemon. If they ever came out with Pokemon. Well, Decat. I earmarked 2 million Omi to spend for Decat, whether it's Omi to Gem or on the secondary market. But I'm doing that. But aside from that, Pokemon. If we ever got Pokemon, I would spend more money than I should. What about y'all?
I'm interested to hear Rain's take. What would really catch his attention?
I would love Transformers that would transform from like a car to the robot, that then you could move around even in robot form, right? So they would walk around. So that would, my inner nerd would go crazy for that. I'm sorry, it just would. And I would get like Optimus Prime and, all the major players. Jazz, one of my favorites. He's kind of rare. He was a Porsche Carrera. So that I'd love. I like that they do the cars and that you can drive them around already. I think that's pretty cool. But for that, I would drop some cash. Even if like right now I'm not buying a whole lot other than some things that are like been forgotten for a while. Just because like I've made all my allocation to crypto. So I can't help myself though. VeVe like totally tricks me into getting more stuff because I love it so much. But if they did something like the Transformers drop like that, I would just have to allocate more money into VeVe.
Yeah, like I mean they did Wolverine. I love Wolverine. That was a big deal for me.
So cool.
Loved Wolverine, and I'd like to love that. I also have like a real big nostalgia for Thundercats, and we've got I've got a lot of the SR comics of the Thundercats that they've dropped and things, but to actually see Lion-O, and for him to be like Thundercats Ho and have that sword and it extends like in Mumra, like that would be pretty epic for me. I would definitely drop that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is another one. I don't like the edition size with the price right now, so I'll probably be getting some stuff on the secondary market. I will say though that black and white with the red band, and like the history behind that, how all the Ninja Turtles were like black and white and they all had the red band, right? Like, even though they had the different names, that is pretty freaking cool, man. That's cool. So I'm trying to think though, if there was like Wolverine for me was honestly like the biggest deal. So they've already done that.
Dude, I remember Mask. Those were the coolest things. They like, there was like a car that could fly and like a scooter that could fly.
Wait,
there was a cartoon associated with it. Mask, Mask, with periods in there. And I don't remember what that stood for, but yeah, I remember having a couple things and like wanting all of them. I think they even had like magnets on their feet, which was like the coolest. The characters were smaller. Anyway.
Ramjet, yeah. And what was Starscream, right? Starscream was like one of the bad guys.
That was a Decepticon from Transformers.
Yeah, Decepticon. But I hated him, but I liked him. I like Starscream.
It's not new anymore. It's old now. Transformers Prime came out in like 2010. It was a new network called the Hub, and I guess they had to deal with Hasbro because they were just like, okay, we're gonna make new episodes of My Little Pony and Transformers Prime, and it was dope. Transformers Prime was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed that, even at like 19 years old. I was like, yeah, this is great. Got to rewatch that. The cat guy will have a Taps Trade Centerfold. I'll see if I can get him to.
Yes, please. Yes, please. No, who was the dude? There was two ninjas in G.I. Joes. There was the black one and the white one.
Yeah, there was Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes.
Yeah, Storm Shadow was the black one, right? And Snake Eyes was the white ninja.
No, you had that reversed. Storm Shadow. Man, I got a story about Storm Shadow. So I had to earn money through babysitting. I was super poor growing up, right? So I earned $3, and Storm Shadow was always sold out. And there was a Kmart like 2 miles from my house. So my friend said, "Oh my gosh," he had gone to the store. His mom had taken him. He got home. He's like, "They have it at Kmart." So I get on my bike. I'm riding. Some bullies totally stopped me, and they pushed me around. And I had the $3 in my top pocket, and they totally pocket one of the dollars. Like they pretend to give it to me back, and I'm like, "No, I'm missing some." And so they took one of my dollars, so I didn't have $3 anymore. I couldn't buy it. And then they sold out, and I didn't get one, and I was like so sad. It crushed my little childhood spirits for just like 5 years. Not a long time, just 5 years. And I would like think about that. I was so bummed because I lived in a small town at the time, and like they just didn't get a lot of shipments. There weren't like big toy stores. Like Kmart was the thing, and they didn't have that many of them. They sold out by the time I could then earn another dollar to have enough to buy it.
I had no idea. That's wild, man.
Karma does come around. One time. Like, it's 10 years later. It was the most random thing. 10 years later, I'm walking through a KB toy store, and randomly, there's a Storm Shadow sitting there. Just one. They're long since sold out. I don't know what the hell it's doing there. I'm like, yeah, grab it, take it, and I buy it. I'm like, yes. And I'm like way older by then. Like, I'm probably 20 or something. Do you think I opened it and played with it? Hell yes, I did. Because I was so bummed. I wanted that action figure more than anything when I was that age, and I didn't get it.
That would have been my villain origin story right there. Like when that happened to me, like
evil. That might be what happened. I did turn evil, so that might be the reason.
That's when Crypto Rain decided to take over the world.
Yeah.
All right, we are about out of time over here, so we'll pass it. Final words, final thoughts.
I just listen. Like, I love that people are still here. That they have been so patient. I think that the time is coming. Like things are ramping up, and we're starting to see a lot of progress. It's like slowly, and then suddenly all at once, right? And I think that there's going to be a lot of things that are coming up at the end of this year, with Omi and VeVe. But like going to that 5-year anniversary, thing in Vegas at Decon was so awesome, and it was awesome for them to recognize a lot of the people in the community that have done so much, and seeing them post these rewards and stuff. So shout out to all of those people who won those rewards. That was really great. Even Crypto Cosmo got up there. He had and there you go. Look how cool that is. That's so cool and so deserved, Randy. That is so deserved, man. I love that. Like, I love how they recognize the community. And listen, I just want to recognize all of you guys who are here and watch our show every week and comment, and just when we get to meet you in real life and how awesome you guys are. Just really appreciate that. Love this community. And I continue to be very, very excited about the future of Omi and VeVe.
Yeah, flashback to March of 2021, and VeVe's app was live, and I thought, oh my gosh, they've got the first Batman on the blockchain. This VeVe app is probably going to be a really big deal. I think the first Batman on the blockchain, and they're seem to be getting some more licenses. I think VeVe is really onto something. Of course, at that time, like, it was early. The Todd McFarlane Batmans hadn't even sold out on the app, and they were selling super slow, and people said I was crazy. And I was like, yeah, we'll see. But literally half my audience laughed at like this stupid Batman on the blockchain thing, and get back to covering serious crypto. I was like, I'm here for good investment. I don't see how you don't see why this is a big deal. And by January of 2022, so it took like 9 months from then, and it went 200x from that price, from 80 gems all the way up to 16,000 gems. 200x from the bottom to the top. It was crazy run. I think we're heading into another peak. Now, I don't know if it's 3 months from now. I don't know if it's 9 months from now, when people go crazy for digital collectibles again. And this is what it feels like starting to build some momentum, starting to go the right direction, just like March of 2021. Most people weren't paying attention to VeVe collectibles because other things were selling like crazy, and VeVe collectibles were just kind of there and just picking up a little bit of momentum. Now we're feeling the collectibles picking up some momentum. At some point, it's going to cascade massively. They're doing the right things. Big influencers are going to take note. They have the right licenses. This goes really big, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, heck yeah. We don't know exactly how they're going to treat Omi. We know that Stacker's going to make him a first-class citizen, as per Dr. Prophet. So hi there, hey. That's really all he said so far about it. And yeah, Secret Rare AF15 comic, if NFTs go crazy, will run tens of thousands, if not tens of thousands, in my opinion. It could do 6 figures. I don't know. Maybe. Depends how crazy people are. Anyway, guys, thank you all for joining, the 668 of you. I love y'all. Everyone say, Dashy's not here. But we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Meow. Meow, meow, meow.